So we're going to start with a wall today. We're not going to stay near the wall, so you can just walk over to it and not move your mat if you're not near it. Let me just start my Instagram. All right. Just making sure everything is good to go. Go ahead, start your playlist when you're ready. And everyone can hear me good. I can see you, Veronica. Can you hear me? Cool. All right. So when I was thinking about what kind of class I wanted to do for Pride, I was thinking, you know, what about movement and yoga kind of taps into that Pride mentality? And I was thinking, as the queer community we have open hearts, we have flexibility, we have open minds, and I almost also want to tap into open hips because, you know, it's a sexuality, so might as well, right? So anyways, we're going to start off opening the shoulders a little bit, opening the heart, and move into the hips, and then do a little more strength building too. So facing the wall, let's bring our hands to the wall a little bit higher than our shoulders. Take a step back and drop the head down. Looking down towards your toes. Tuck the tailbone underneath, so it's not just coming from your spine. You're getting a stretch in the shoulders. Top of the rib cage as well. You can turn your chin side to side. And let your head drop totally down. Keep your core engaged, keep your tailbone tucked. Slowly start to come up. From here, I want you to just lean your butt against the wall, feet are far away from the wall, and then just forward fold down, reaching down towards your toes. Shake the head out, side to side. Nice, start to come up. Let's come down onto our backs on the mat. We do have a full hour today, so it'll be nice. We can get more deep into poses. I'm gonna bend my left knee, bring my foot to the floor, roll to the right, tuck my left forearm under my back, palm on the floor, and roll back onto my left forearm and straighten my leg. So my left elbow's at a 90-degree angle. I'm on my left forearm. We've done this pose before. If this is too deep for you, you can always rebend that left knee and push out of it a little bit so you're not totally leaning onto that left arm. Close the eyes, take a few breaths. Take 3 more deep breaths. You might even take your right hand and give yourself a little shoulder massage. Nice. Let's roll back onto the right to undo it. Cross the left arm in front of the chest and hug it in with the right arm. And switch sides. Bend the right knee. Roll onto your left side. Tuck the right arm underneath, palm on the floor. Roll onto that right forearm, straighten the leg. Excuse me. Stay here and breathe. Relaxing your body, letting go. Three more deep breaths. Again, you can take your left hand and just give yourself a little shoulder massage. Nice. Roll onto your left, undo the arm, roll onto your back, and cross the right arm in front of your chest. Hold it in with the left. Nice, release. Hug the right knee into your chest And we're gonna turn the knee over to the left side, left hand to the top of that right knee. Right arm reaches to the right side. And then we're gonna start to bend that bottom left knee and kick the foot up closer to the glutes. Grab the foot with the right hand if you can for cat's tail. Look over your right shoulder to the right side. Slowly release. Straighten the legs, bend the left knee into chest, and cross it over to the right side. Reach the left arm to left side, and then start to bend the right knee, grabbing that foot with the left hand, cat's tail. Look over to the left. Try to turn the head a little bit more. Bring the stretch and the twist all the way to the upper spine. Hug the knees into chest. Rock a little side to side. From here, cross the right foot over the left thigh, lying figure 4. Gently, you can just push that right knee a little bit away from you, interlacing your hands underneath the left thigh or on top of the left shin. Flexing both feet. Gently pulling that left knee in towards you. I hope you like the playlist today. I try to make it both old school, but also modern. So I'm sure there's a lot of songs you'll recognize, but some maybe you won't. And lower the foot down to the left side. So we're still in our figure 4, but our right foot's on the floor to the left of us, reaching the right arm to the right side. And go ahead, lift up, switch sides, cross right or left foot over right thigh, flex both feet, interlace hands on top of right chin or under the right thigh, draw that knee in. And again, you can also push that left knee out gently. Don't force it. Flexing the feet. Take a few breaths. And let the left foot fall to the right side. Reach the left arm to left side. Nice. Lift it back up, knees together, hug them in, and grab your block. We're taking the block and we're doing abs. Woohoo, we love abs. We're gonna bring the block between the thighs. I'm gonna lift up my butt and bring my hands to the floor underneath my butt because I'm sure you know why. It just helps the back a little bit. I don't have the strongest core, so this helps me a lot to not injure my lower back. But if you have a super strong core, you may not need to bring your hands underneath you. So I'm gonna straighten my legs, squeeze the block, and slowly lower the legs down, but not touch the floor. Stay here as low as you can and squeeze the block for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift. Straight legs. With an exhale, we lower again. And squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And inhale, lift. Let's do one more time. Exhale, lower. And squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lift. Nice job. Let's remove the block. Interlace the hands behind the head. We're gonna do a nice slow bike. So we're gonna kick out the right to start, left knee bent, and twist the left. Maybe you touch that right knee to left, or right elbow to left knee. Slowly switch and twist to the right. Keep doing this at your own pace. Keep it slow. Don't use momentum. Remember to breathe. I know it's hard to breathe when you're doing abs. Let's do 3 more. Good. Nice. From here, I want you to lift the legs up. Make them a little bit wider. Point the toes. Then I want you to make a circle in opposite directions. So my right leg is going to come in front of my left leg, and they're going to diagonally go in front of each other, kind of like scissors cross. I'm going to swing around, nice and wide, and then crisscross over each other. Do it again. Crisscross. Go a few more times. Maybe pick up the pace a little bit. Not going fast, just continuous motion. Let's do 3 more. Ooh, damn. Knees in, let's bring the feet to the floor. Rock the knees side to side. I want to do 1 more abs. And you'll get through this, I know it. Let's come back into that, kicking the legs up into the sky. Again, the feet are wide and you cross one leg over the other, diagonally in front of each other. And then we're gonna lift up. So my right leg is in front of my left leg. So let's all do that. Right leg in front. Then I'm gonna twist to the right and draw my left elbow towards my right knee. And I'm gonna pulse my legs, kind of like scissoring them over each other. And I'm gonna draw my left elbow to right knee at the same time for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch. Other side for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Lower it down. Knees rock side to side. This is where my makeup starts to melt off. Nice. We're done with abs. Let's rock up, coming into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, which looks like butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees open. Let's walk the hands behind our back, fingers pointing away. And then you're gonna shimmy a little side to side, walking the hands closer to each other, maybe so close that your fingers start to overlap. Drawing your chest open, lift the chest, rock the hips forward. As you exhale, round the lower spine. Inhale, open the chest. It's a little cat-cow. Exhale, back down. Inhale, back bend, open chest. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale. Do a couple more times. Exhale. And let's stay in a neutral spine. Go ahead, drop the chin down to your chest. And then swing your right ear to right shoulder. Chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Starting to get some pins and needles. I don't know about you. So I'm going to slowly walk my hands away from each other. And I'm going to bring my knees together, swing the feet around, coming into tabletop. So we did something different the other day. Got cat hair all over me. And it was like a little hip exercise. And it made my ass hurt the next day so bad that I want to do it again. Because, you know, when you have like weird muscle soreness the next day after doing a new exercise, it probably means that you're ignoring that part of your body too much. So that's why I want to do that one again. So you're gonna have an ass hurt tomorrow. So I'm gonna tuck my right toes. I'm gonna kick out my left leg and point my toes. Close the hip. I'm gonna tap my foot on the ground and lift it up. I'm gonna swing my leg more to the left, tap it and lift. You might remember this if you were in class. I think it was like a week ago. And tap around. So we're swinging the leg. See if you can do 5 or 6 taps and see how close you can get to your hand. and tap it back. Tap, tap. Again, try 5 or 6. We're starting with the back. Go at your own pace. Going around. One of the more awkward hip exercises, but we love feeling awkward. It's part of who we are. It's a very strong part of who I am. Let's go around front one more time. And to the side and back again. Good. We're gonna stay back, left leg. Let's flex the foot, toes pointed down, and we're just gonna pulse that left heel for 12, 11, 10, nice and slow, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knee, pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, good, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that knee down. I'm gonna move a little bit to the left so I don't kick my bookcase over here. I'm gonna do the other side. I'm tucking my left toes, kicking my right leg out, pointing the toe, and tapping it, and going around to the right, tapping on the floor. Seeing how close I can get to my right hand. Oof. Let's go around a few more times at your own pace. One more round. Don't forget to breathe. It's not easy to do. If you're struggling, you're not the only one. And we're meeting back. Leg kicked out, flex the foot. Let's pulse for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Pressing the floor, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knee down. Whew. From here, we're gonna walk both knees to the left side of the mat. Sit down onto the right side of the right hip and walk the hands over off the mat to the right. I'm sweating already. Take a few breaths. I feel like a mermaid in this pose. Walk the hands back, lift up the hip, walk both knees next to each other to the right side of your mat, lower the left hip, and walk the hands off the mat to the left. Take a few breaths. Walk the hands back, and let's lift back up. Let's take cow face pose. So I'm in tabletop pose. I'm gonna take my right knee behind my left knee, widen my feet away from each other, come back and sit down between my feet. Usually you take your strap and you'd open up your chest. Actually, let's do that since we do have our strap today. I usually skip it because I don't always say to grab a strap, but we have it today. So I'm gonna bring up my right hand, grabbing the strap. My left hand comes behind and I walk my hands close together. Maybe today it's different for you. Every day we wake up and our flexibility isn't always the same, especially depending on how we sleep. Try to open the chest. Try not to have the openness of your chest only come from your back bend. See if you can tuck the tailbone even in this pose. That way you can have a more open heart and it's not just coming from that openness of the back. Nice, move the strap to the side. We're coming back onto our knees. Uncross, another side, cross the left knee behind the right, open the feet, sit down between the heels, strap in your left hand above you. And right hand comes behind and reaches up. Hug the rib cage down, hug the belly in. Tuck the tailbone underneath. Notice any difference on this side. Every time I start to work out, I start to yawn. It's very odd. I don't know if that happens to you. My body's like, go back to bed. You don't want to do this. And go ahead and release the strap to the side. Roll the shoulders up and back. It can be a very deep pose. Come back onto your tabletop. We're coming down onto our bellies. And we're having our hands, our palms come to either side, fingertips to the floor, elbows point up towards the sky, okay? Our palms are off the floor, it's just our fingertips, so we're tenting our fingers, kind of in line with the shoulders. I want you to take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, press up and lift the chest. Inhale to stay. Exhale to stay. If you feel too much pressure in one part of your spine in this back bend, then engage the core a lot. Because the moment you let it go, that point, I have a very specific point in my spine where my back bend comes from, and that's actually not good because too much strain there will end up leading to injury in the long run. So engage your core here. It's odd to do, but you can do it. And with your next exhale, lower the belly down, keep your elbows lifted. Lift a little bit here, just lifting the chest. Exhale, dip the right shoulder down and look to the left. Look up at your left elbow. Inhale back to center, not too high to lift, just a little bit. Exhale, dip the left shoulder, look to the right. Look at your right elbow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right shoulder dips. And one more time, inhale. Exhale, left shoulder dips. Nice. Coming to center, let's bring our hands underneath our shoulders and press up into Cobra Pose. Nice back bend. So I don't want you to straighten your arms here quite yet. Honestly, I think it's taking away work that could be in the triceps here. So I want you to bend the elbows and hug them in towards your torso. Press the hands down into the floor. Really press your hands down, really strong, and start to lower the belly and chest, but keep the hands pressing down into the floor. Now press and lift the chest back up for Cobra. Inhale, and then exhale to lower. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, lower. See if you can keep your shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more times, inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Nice. I felt that in my tricep. How about you? From here, we're going to reach the arms forward. Actually, you know what? We can grab our block so you don't have to pretend to be grabbing anything. Let's bring the block between our palms and reach the block forward. Look down at your mat and start to lift the legs up in the air. Point the toes, squeeze the block and pulse the hands squeezing the block for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 10 more, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, stack the hands for a pillow, rock the hips a little side to side. From here, we're going to reach the arms back. You can interlace if you'd like, or you can just reach back. Either way is fine. We're going to lift up and lift the legs, open the chest. Maybe look forward and see how that feels, or you can drop down, drop the head, look down at your mat. for more length in the spine. Although I find I'm constantly looking down at my phone, so I take every opportunity in yoga to have a nice back bend in my cervical and upper thoracic spine. Slowly lower down, stack the hands, make a pillow, lower the forehead, hips move left and right. One more back bend while we're here on our stomach. We're gonna bend the knees. We're gonna reach back, you can grab one at a time. I'm grabbing the inside of my ankles. So my left hand is the inside of my left ankle and vice versa. Coming into bow pose. You can point the toes or flex the feet, doesn't matter. I'm gonna press my feet into my hands and it's gonna help me lift up. Now here's where you can make it fun. You can use your breath and breathe really big. And kind of rock forward and back. Here's where it gets even more fun. You can start to rock side to side. Whoa, that was kind of intense. Don't do it that intensely. And you can topple your bow to one side and come back up. Oh, it takes a little bit. Come on. There you go. And you can rock to the other side and topple over. Just another way to be playful with poses. Whew. Come back to center. Slowly release. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press up to tabletop. Take a few cat-cows. Inhale, dip the belly, looking forward. Exhale, press and round. Inhale to exhale. Stay in your exhale, stay in your cat. Really press down, spreading the shoulder blades, pressing the fingertips down into the floor, and neutral spine. From here, we're taking downward facing dog. Lift the knees. You can find your movement, bending one knee at a time, pressing one heel down at a time. Don't forget to have fun with this flow. You know, Pride obviously is about civil rights and celebrating diversity and who we are, but it's also about having a big party in the summer. And since we don't get our parade this year, let's just find other ways to have fun. Press down, press the fingers into the floor, knuckles down into your mat. Left foot to center, lift up the right leg. Let's bring that foot forward between the hands and lower the left knee down for a low lunge. Swing the arms up. You can start with a straight back and then maybe come down into your back bend, reaching up and back, looking up towards the sky. Some of you, that would be literal. I'm very jealous you're outside. That looks awesome. Hands come down, step back for plank, chaturanga, high to low. Inhale, let's vinyasa through to downward facing. To exhale. Other side, right foot steps to center, left leg lifts up. Left foot to center, between the hands, lower the right knee, low lunge. Ooh. Take a moment here. And then maybe your back bend comes into play. Hands lower down. Step back, plank, high to low. Inhale, upper facing to downward facing. Take a few breaths. Let's shake the head out side to side, shaking your head no. Nodding the head yes. We're lifting up that right leg again. Drawing the foot through between the hands, another low lunge. Lift the arms up. Bring the hands to heart center. We're going to twist to the right. Bring that left arm to the outer right thigh if you can. I'm going to turn around so you can see me do this better, but stay in that pose. So our right foot is forward. From here, we're gonna tuck the back left toes and lift the left knee. Feels good, doesn't it? Not an easy pose. Maybe you try opening the arms, seeing how that feels. Try looking up at your right hand. Keep that back left leg strong. That's what will keep you in this pose. Hands come back to heart center. Now here's another challenge. We're gonna step that left foot forward for twisting chair. Nice. And from here, we're gonna start to lower the hips down to sit on the heels. You can go ahead and lower the hands down, staying here. So for this next pose, it's side crow. And no, if you're, not quite there yet for side crow, that doesn't mean you can't try it. I think it's a great pose to try out. So just because you might not get it today doesn't mean that, you might not get it in like a couple days. Maybe it'll start to click. So for side crow, we're gonna start by bringing both hands to the floor. And already you have contact with the outer right leg with the back of the left arm, the tricep, right? So what we have to do is bring contact with that right hip and the right elbow. So I'm gonna start to lean my right hip into my right elbow, and it kind of just makes contact and sits there. So from here, I'm gonna start to lean my chest forward and slowly lift each foot. Maybe you hover for a second and maybe you find that your knees can stack. It's all about leaning into your body. You might have it, maybe you want to play with it, sliding the left leg up and straightening both legs. And go ahead, come back up. Nice job. I'm coming back to the front of my mat. From here, let's take Malasana. So we're gonna bring our hands in front of us, widen the feet, toes pointing away, and sit down between the heels for a squat. Take the hands, tent the fingers away from each other off the mat in front of the shins. Maybe you gently move the hips a little side to side, kind of wiggling down deeper into the pose. Hands come down to the floor. Let's step back for plank pose. High to low, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing to downward facing. Nice. Left leg lifts and foot steps through between the hands. Right knee lowers down, low lunge. Maybe you have your little back bend here too. Hands come to heart center, other side. And we twist left. Bring that right arm in front of that left thigh if possible. Nice. I already feel a little bit uneven, uneasy, unstable, but we're gonna try it anyways. Let's tuck the back right toes and lift the right knee. Woo. Wobbly. You'll definitely notice which side is your dominant side. I'm gonna try to open my arm, see if, I can do it a little bit today. Nice, look up at your left hand. Hands come back to heart center. You can do this. Let's see if we can step the right foot forward for chair. Twisting chair. And then we start to sit down to the heels, hands can come down. Again, we're doing our side crow on the other side. So hands come down to the floor. Again, you should already, not should, but you may already have contact of the outer left leg with the back of the right arm. And now we have to lean into our left hip, into our left elbow, and see if we can find some contact. You're gonna find a little stand for your left hip with that left elbow. Lean forward, start to lift the left foot, then the right, stacking the knees. Maybe play with it. Maybe straighten the legs, open up the legs. Come back down. Whew. Nice job. Let's take another Malasana squat pose. You can always take this with a block underneath you. It's just a nice way to take a little rest. Not every pose has to be like a super intense stretch. Sometimes we can take a break, catch our breath. Let's close our eyes, take 4 deep breaths. Nice, go ahead and remove the block. We're gonna step back for plank pose, high to low, or just go right to downward facing. And we meet in downward facing dog. We're gonna take the right foot and step it forward. Walk the hands over towards our left foot, and both feet are facing away from each other. We're gonna start to rise up and bend the knees for goddess pose. You can adjust as needed, maybe drawing the heels closer together, tucking the tailbone. So try not to lift the butt like this, it looks so weird. Tuck the tailbone underneath, that way you'll target the groin and the hips better for this hip stretch. From here, we're gonna start to move a little side to side, bringing the hands to the thighs. Nice and slow. Maybe bring your hands to heart center. From here, find center and just little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay and get even lower. Whew. Rock a little side to side. Good. As low as you can go. Nice. Maybe to the beat of the music. Nice job. Let's bring our hands down to the other side of our mat. So we're lining the front left foot. We're gonna step it back for plank. High to low. Inhale, upward facing to downward facing. Getting a new perspective. We're taking the left foot and stepping it through between the hands and walking the hands back to the center of our mat. But this time we're gonna point the toes in and heels are further apart. So adjust as needed. Walk the hands over to your right ankle and grab the outer right ankle with both hands, starting to look over that right leg, maybe near that right shoulder. Straighten the legs or having a bend in the knees, as long as you feel a stretch behind the legs. Walk the hands to the left, grabbing the outside of the left ankle. Looking up at your left shoulder. Breathe. Nice. Let's walk the hands to center. If you have your headstand, feel free to come into that. Otherwise, we can walk our hands, our fingers between the legs and reach back behind us. Drop the head down. I'd stay for 4 breaths. If you're in your headstand, start to come down. Hands to the floor underneath the shoulders. Press up for like a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands over to the right foot. Point the right toes forward. Tuck the back toes. And we're going to step that right foot back, downward facing dog. From here, left foot will step forward. And we're going to come into warrior 2. So lower the right heel, open the arms. Arms are strong. Reaching forward and back, shoulders lower. Maybe get deeper into this left leg. Open the chest to the right side. Really sink into this pose, both physically and mentally. I think this pose is the best example of strength in yoga. You don't have to be doing some crazy arm balance or back bend or whatever it is to feel a sense of strength, to feel strong, and to allow it to actually change the way you think about yourself, even in a little bit of a way. Let's reverse, lifting the left arm. And let's come into triangle pose. Start to kick the hips back, straighten the left leg, and reach the left hand down, right arm lifts. Konasana. Keeping the chest open, not letting that right elbow come in towards the chin, lifting and peeling that right shoulder open. Let's let the hands come down, align the front foot, bend the knee a little bit, step the right foot in a little bit, pyramid pose. Left toes pointing forward, right toes 45-degree angle. You can use a block on each side here, or you can just tent your fingers with bent knees and let the head drop down towards your left knee. Take a couple breaths. You don't need to have straight legs for this pose. I don't know if you can hear the dogs in my neighborhood, but they're very loud today. And start to bend the left knee more. Step the right foot back, so we're in a lunge. And go ahead and lower that right knee. Heel to the left foot, to the top left corner of your mat. Left arm comes inside of the left leg, coming into a dragon pose. My knee likes to open up to the side when I do this, and that has to do with the shape of my hips, the depth of my hip socket, the length of my femoral head. It really depends on your skeleton. So maybe you don't really know much about yours right now, but you'll get to know it, you know, if you start to listen to your body and do poses and think about why does my body look like this when I come into this pose? For this pose, for example, it could be doing this because you have some tightness, but it could also be, if you're like me, you have the different shape of the hip socket. So don't always get down on yourself for not doing the full stretch. It could literally be that your skeleton is just built that way. So anyways, you can come down to your forearms if you want to. Not necessary. There's different versions. I like to sometimes come down to a block and bring maybe my forearms to that. Maybe you decide to twist open and reach back with the left hand, taking a really deep quad stretch. Oof. Looking over the left shoulder. However deep you want to take this pose, explore it, find what works for you. If you have a strap and you can't quite reach the foot, it might be a good idea to use a strap to pull it in close. Nice. Slowly release and move the block to the side. Let's just swing that left leg back for tabletop, and we're going to come through to downward facing. Other side, right foot steps through, warrior two. Lift the left arm and swing up. Finding your grounding, sinking down, finding your strength. Tuck the tailbone, lower the shoulders, breathe. Look down your right hand. Nice. Remember that left arm needs to stay strong as well. Flip the right palm, reverse. From here, we start to straighten that right leg. Doesn't have to lock. You can keep a nice bend. And we lower the right hand down for Konasana triangle pose. Left arm reaches up. Look up at your left hand. Look down at your right toes. Hands come down, bend that right knee, step that left foot closer, coming into pyramid pose. Again, you can tent your fingers on either side of your right foot, or you can use your blocks here as well. Always feel free to bend that right knee a little or a lot. Fold yourself down over that right leg. Breathe here. Maybe you shake the head and release the head completely. Take 2 or 3 more breaths to stay. Good. Bend the knee a lot. I'll step the left foot back, coming into our low lunge. Heel to the right foot to the top right corner. Right arm comes inside for our dragon pose. Find whatever kind of pose you want to do. You can rock a little side to side. You can move forward and back like this. Really find whatever flow in this pose works for you. Maybe you do want to come down onto the forearms if that feels good. Maybe you try that really deep quad stretch, reaching back with the right hand. Kick the left leg up, see if you can touch the toes. Whew. See how this side is different from the other side. My left hip is much tighter in the front of the hip. Take a few breaths. And slowly release. And swing that right leg around, tabletop. Move the hips a little side to side. So for the peak pose today, I was going to do pigeon. So I'm thinking about if that's the one I want to do, or I want to do a different heart opener. Let me ask y'all. I'm not going to make it so I can see everybody, because then the YouTube will show everyone. So I can see. So everyone who wants pigeon, raise your hand. Actually, the other one's going to be camel, so keep that in mind. Raise your hand if you want pigeon. Raise your hand if you want camel. Okay, I think pigeon wins. So pigeon it is. Yeah. Well, that means we have to do both sides. So, but we are going to use the strap. So we're going to have a deeper version of, we're going to do Ekapada, Kapotasana, king pigeon pose, one-legged. So let's come into downward dog to start. Let's bring that right knee forward. Left foot towards your left wrist, right knee towards your right wrist, and lower that left knee down. When I start here, I always like to tuck my toes and kind of move my left knee back. And then I'm going to take my block and put it between my belly and my right shin, kind of like a ramp. That way my hips stay level and I don't sink too far into one hip and kind of throw off the balance. So from here, grab your strap. This is going to be awkward, but fun. So I'm able to make a loop with my strap. You might not be able to do that, so you're going to have to go fishing for your foot a little bit more, which will be more difficult, but I have faith in you. I'm going to start to bend my left knee and kick my left foot up. I'm going to twist open and grab my foot with the strap and wrap it around. I'm going to wrap around the ankle. Okay, so you might have two sides of the strap depending on what kind of strap you have. You might be like me where you can make a loop. And then I want you to bring your right hand underneath your right shoulder and point that left elbow towards the front of your room. Reaching that left hand up overhead, just gently pull the foot in towards your butt. Oof. You might start to feel like you can come onto your fingertips with the right hand, reaching that left arm, lifting the left elbow. Maybe you feel strong enough to come up and grab the strap with the other hand. And maybe from here, you can walk the hands down and reach toward the foot. Whew. Nice. This could be where you're at today. This is perfectly fine. This is doing the pose. And it's a great step forward. Let's slowly come out. I'm going to lean onto my right hip and come out. Nice. Let's just come into downward facing and do the other side. Pedal up the knee, the heels down to the floor, and the left knee to left wrist, left foot to right wrist. And again, I'm tucking my right toes and I'm scooting my right knee back. My block is going to become my ramp between my belly and my left shin. Then we're going to go fishing for our foot again, bending the right knee, kicking it up with the right hand, seeing if you can catch your foot and bring the strap around the ankle. From here, my left hand is underneath my left shoulder, and my right hand starts to come up, pointing my right elbow forward. Maybe we straighten the arm, maybe we bend it. If you feel like you can start to lift up onto your left fingertips and maybe grab the strap with both hands, go for it. Maybe you walk the hands back. Good. Nice. Wherever you're at, it doesn't have to be all the way here. It can be here. It can be even down here over the shoulder. It's really just inviting your body into a new pose. Doesn't mean you have to get it right away. It's just kind of putting that muscle memory into play. So maybe next time you go even a little bit further. Let's slowly release. Come on to our left hip. Swing that right foot around. Knees out in front of us. Hands behind us. Just rocking the knees a little side to side. Nice. Getting ready to come all the way down. So come onto your back. Let's cross that left knee over the right knee. So the feet are kind of going in opposite directions. So now we're in reclined cow face pose. So you can go ahead and reach up and grab opposite feet with opposite hands. So this to me feels like bike handles, like a big cruiser bike. So maybe that feels like that to you. You just gently draw the heels down. Knees are stacked. As long as you feel stretch in the outer hips, in the glutes, you're doing the pose right. You can rock a little side to side. And switch sides, switch the cross of the legs, reach up and grab the feet. Reclined cow face pose. Supta Gomukhasana. Nice. From here, let's see, we have a few minutes left, so perfect time to come into Shavasana. If you have a final pose you'd like to take before Shavasana, be my guest. Otherwise, come all the way down. I'm gonna lay down with my palms facing up to start. And if, I don't know what song it is in the playlist right now, but if it's too high energy, you can go ahead and just skip to the very last song, which is meant for Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Inhale, fill the lungs. Hold it in. Big, loud exhale. One more time, big inhale. And release. Find stillness. Natural breath. Finding a connection of your body to the floor. Finding the connection of your mind to your body, thinking about how your body feels in this pose, how your body feels after that flow. Feeling that sensation of yoga, of the yoking mind, body, spirit, earth. And remembering that pride culture and identity, identifying as queer or LGBTQIA, is all about first finding it within yourself, who you are. I think that the queer community might be a little more in touch with who they are, perhaps. I like to think than others sometimes, because we've had to delve deep inside ourselves and find something that society tells us isn't right. And we embrace that and we connect with it instead and find loving friends and communities to celebrate that with instead of hiding from it. So remembering that you already have that connection to yourself. And when you start to feel lost in life, at least you know that you know yourself this much. And you may know yourself more than you think. You start to wiggle your toes or fingers. Come on to one side or just come right up to a seat. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, lift the arms up and overhead, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. The light and dark in me loves and honors the light and dark in you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for coming today. I'm starving. Before you leave, just remember that if you are choosing to make a donation, you can send it to the Black Widow Venmo or PayPal. 50% of it will go to Youth on Fire. Please put the note PRIDE in the note of the PayPal or Venmo payment. If you'd rather just donate 100% of your donation, you can do that as well on the Facebook event, or if you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be below. You can go directly to Youth on Fire and just donate to them if you'd like. That does not bother me at all. Feel free to do that. If you are watching this on YouTube, I actually think I would recommend you do that, because by the time you watch it, I probably already made the donation. So just donate to them directly. And you can find out more about who they are in the description. Let me think. If you haven't seen our announcement yet on Instagram and Facebook, we're moving, aka me, because I'm the only person that does this. There's no other person in Black Widow, it's just me. I'm moving to Austin, Texas in August. So I'm really sad to be leaving everybody. It breaks my heart to leave my home, but it's exciting. I'm going to grad school, so I'm not just leaving for the hell of it, just to be hipster in Austin.